Good morning, viewers. Welcome back in Breaking News program with me. I am Syafira Nurcahyani. Will give an information to you about how recent developments regarding to the situation and the effect of COVID-19. What is the actually update on COVID-19 cases and current condition in Indonesia country? My colleague Vyra Pratama and Wulandari will report it directly to you.
Alright, Syafira and viewers. The Indonesian government reports that the number of COVID-19 cases continue to increase. Reporting from the national news Kompas.com, vaccinations focus COVID-19 Ministries of Health, Siti Nadia Tarmizi. She said the third stage of COVID-19 vaccination program had begun in Jakarta. The COVID-19 vaccine brand used in the third stage vaccination is not different from those in the first and second stage of vaccination. The total COVID-19 vaccine already available in Indonesia has more than 73 million doses, and 10 million of doses from the COVID-19 vaccine come gradually.
How the impact of Indonesia economic growth?
COVID-19 pandemic, of course, had impact on the world economy sector, including Indonesia. Public policy and business analyst Saiful mentioned three major impacts of the COVID-19 pandemic against the national economy. The first effect is a decrease in household consumption or a decrease in purchasing power. The second impact, it said, was that COVID-19 pandemic caused some uncertainty when it will end. And the third impact of economic growth is that causes commodity price to fall. As a result, governments are taking immediate action such as vaccination program, national economic recovery programs, BLT, and venture capital assistance.
For the political and social aspect of Indonesia itself, how does COVID-19 affect those aspects?
The COVID-19 virus outbreak has already occurred in some parts of the world, including Indonesia, which has resulted in a negative impact of the political system in Indonesia. The negative effects of the COVID-19 are potentially a political crisis that the government experiences in the public belief in the COVID-19 treatment. And that the COVID-19 pandemic also has impact to force communities to be adaptive to the various forms of social change that result. All forms of community activity currently must be adjusted to standard health protocol. For example, when we meet either in an office or in a neighborhood and with a local people, we hesitate to shake hands, even if they are parents, as we teach our children to always respect the older one. Current situation, however, require that we avoid shaking hands and keep a distance if we want to talk to others. This is certainly not a simple matter because the COVID-19 pandemic has infected all aspects of societies. All that I can report. Return to you, Syafira.
Yes, thank you, Vyra, for your report. Alright, viewers, the COVID-19 has been increasing in cases in the state of America since January. A full report will be submitted to my partner, Putri, Intan, Oktapiani, live from New York, USA. Putri, what are the current condition and live number and the number of positive COVID-19 cases in America?
The United States of America has the highest number of confirmed cases and deaths. It stated that COVID-19 in America increased significantly on January 8 with more than 300,000 registered cases. Even as of January 22, 2021, America has lost 409,000 lives due to COVID-19. However, in recent months, COVID-19 cases in America have decreased significantly. The latest data shows that on May 16, 2021, there are more than 16,000 new cases with the lowest mortality rate, around 600 people. Apart from that, so far, the United States leads the world in the number of vaccinations delivered. On May 16, 2021, 345 million COVID-19 vaccines have been delivered in the United States of America. Additionally, according to new guidelines released on Thursday by the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, fully vaccinated Americans do not need to wear masks again, even indoors, except in crowded places such as airplanes, buses, and health facilities. Even so, people are afraid to take a risk, and that's only natural because masks have protected us from COVID-19 infection, as stated by Eber Karan, an internal medicine doctor at Brigham and Women's Hospital.
Well, Putri, what about the economic impact of the United States?
In July 2020, America's economy was experiencing near recession in the second quarter, which showed a negative U.S. economic growth in 2 quarters in a row. In the second quarter of 2020, the U.S. economy is minus 5%, down 32.9% by 2020. Because of the large number of COVID-19 positive cases, each state government in the United States of America has implemented a lockdown policy to prevent the spread of the virus, which will drastically reduce public economic activity.
What caused it to happen, Putri?
It's known that the U.S. often relies on economic contribution from domestic consumption, but American household consumption is down 34.6% annually in the second quarter. The decline is due to the large share of America's poor livelihood. USA employment records at least 30.2 million Americans applying to the unemployment program. However, there are signs of recovery in the USA job market in the later few months of 2021, and around 4 out of 10 high-income persons believe their family's financial status has improved in the last year. Overall, 53% of Americans now view their financial status as very good or good, up from 47% in April 2020 when the U.S. economy was in collapse. Unfortunately, over half of unretired individuals believe the economic impact of the coronavirus pandemic will make it more difficult for them to meet their long-term financial goals. According to the new Pew Research Center survey, about 3/4 of low-income individuals, 74% and a majority of Black and Hispanic individuals, as well as those with secondary or less education, think their finances are simply in trouble shape. Among those who say their financial situation was getting worse during the pandemic, 44% thought it would take 3 years or more to return their condition a year ago.
In education, Sulan was affected by COVID-19. What is the condition American education?
As with all other countries, the COVID-19 pandemic also affected the education sector, which resulted in USA schools being closed on March 16, 2020, and at 24, 2020, all states have closed school until further notice. The widespread national effects of school closure are exacerbating some social inequality in gender, technology, educational achievement, and mental health. In America, NSLP or National School Lunch Program is closed because of learning from home or school from home programs. About 29.4 million children experience food insecurity that will provide such short-term effects as fatigue and diminished body immunity, and long-term effects that can harm children emotionally, physically, and psychologically. However, in an attempt to avoid this, the USA Department of Agriculture, or USDA, announced an extension of food relief to its end of learning 2020 until 2021 through institutions conducted by Education South Carolina to hold grab-and-go food outlets throughout the state that will be open in 5 days a week. And on March 9, 2021, the USDA announced again that they would sustain the program to 30 September 2021. And for the implementation of learning, in America, most schools turned to online teaching from March 2020, implementing full virtual or hybrid learning. This presents several challenges for the educators, students, and their families because of inadequate access to education and home learning. Student access to technology becomes a barrier to student effectiveness in achieving learning, especially in lower income states such as Massachusetts and New Hampshire have less than 16% of students can access technology. Beyond economic inequality, America is evidence of racial inequality in education. According to a study done by McKinsey, up to 14% of the Black students and 30% of Hispanic students do not receive online instruction during school's classing, compared with only 10% of the white students. Alright, Syafira, back to you.
Okay, thank you, Vyra and Putri, reporting live from respective countries. Yes, and not only in Indonesia and America are convinced to have the highest number of COVID-19 victims in the world, but India ranks second above in the world after the United States with the most people in history. Like data printed on May 16, 2021, there are 281,386 new cases with an average of 328,984 in every 7 days. Next reporter from Wikipedia, 25 million confirmed souls positive of corona, 2 million healed, and also 274 died. Then the number of bodies found on the riverside, the Ganges River, indicated the body of many who died from COVID-19, as quoted in the media Compass.com. The body of COVID-19 flooded the riverside of the Ganges. On March 29, 2021, India celebrated Holi, or the Festival of Colors. It's actually been banned by the government considering the growing condition of the COVID-19, but they keep the tradition together by throwing color at each other. The result is the number of positive confirmed patients from COVID-19 to 60,000. February, under 10,000 got positive COVID-19. And how is the vaccine in India? Vaccination in India was unsuccessful in providing a vaccine, where the federal government of Prime Minister Narendra Modi has opened a vaccination program for some 960 million people, but that is limited to the availability of the needed supply of the vaccine, which is about 1.8 billion doses. This is due to the government delay in ordering a vaccine. Moreover, COVID-19 also has an economic impact on India. On May 12, India Prime Minister Narendra Modi announced that India had issued a $265 billion budget for handling COVID-19, and according to the Financial Express, allocation stimulus closer to 10% of the GDP in India. They are used in health, education, business, mass public service frame. Meanwhile, there's a surge in the employment rate in India. In March, the unemployment rate reached 8.8% of the 2 months later to 24%. There is also a 3.2% drop in 2020, where it has been the worst since 1949. Moreover, not only did the economy, but COVID-19 also affected India's education and increased the number of victims of a COVID in the community of COVID-19, making a government lockdown or abdicated activities in India. This has also affected the world of education in India, where teachers in Nilam Nagara resorted to a different way of getting their students out of a simple family. As Ram Gigway, a teacher at Asha Marathi Vidyalaya school, says, since most Indian families lack the resources to educate their children online, we must find innovative methods to keep them studying. There are many ways the government can do to reduce the spread of the COVID-19, but few people really care about the spread of the COVID-19. Alright, viewers, from the 3 countries who have occupied the highest COVID-19 case, America and India still hold the top of 10 countries in the world with the highest COVID-19 cases. But in addition to Indonesia, the COVID-19 cases continue to increase daily, and it cannot be denied that the COVID-19 case in some countries has had such an impact on activity in aspects of life, such as economic, educational, political, and social aspects. Meanwhile, China itself, which is the origin of the COVID-19 virus, has had a significant recovery over the COVID-19 virus, until everything is normal and everything can go back to the way it was, due to some aspect of society and for Roman government and another supporting China in the recovery.